My husband wants to fake a divorce with me to marry my best friend. The reason is that my best friend's son cannot go to school. She is very anxious about this and has fallen ill because of it. Emily, let's consider this as helping Olivia. Once Matt's schooling is stable, we can remarry, okay? Olivia looked terrified upon hearing this and murmured that it wouldn't work. Lucas, with a stern face, scolded her, "Have you looked in the mirror and seen how haggard you look? Don't worry about this, just listen to me." Seeing the deep, restrained emotions on their faces, I silently put away the divorce agreement. If it's going to be like this, the distribution of assets would have to be reconsidered. Today, Olivia officially divorced William. To celebrate her rebirth, she organized a gathering and invited many friends, including Lucas and me. Lucas is her attorney. If it weren't for Lucas, her case against William wouldn't have been resolved so quickly, and she wouldn't have received so much property. So, she raised her first glass to toast Lucas. "Lucas, thank you. I won't say much more, I toast you a glass." But Lucas seemed unhappy and kept frowning. He said, "I've taken medication, so I can't drink." I looked at him oddly. "I keep the regular medication at home, and I have to find it for him whenever he feels unwell. I'm sure he hasn't taken any medication." Olivia froze, her hand holding the wine glass stiffening, standing awkwardly in place. She said timidly, then, you don't have to drink, I'll drink." But Lucas frowned even more deeply, and seeing Olivia finish her drink, his expression darkened. Today, Olivia was genuinely happy. Since William's infidelity, it had been nearly 6 months of turmoil, and her smiles had become rare. Today, her expression was finally relaxed. She moved among her friends, laughing and joking, like a lark. Yet Lucas seemed a bit distracted. Still, he subconsciously helped me with my food, although his gaze kept wandering, until he placed a piece of beef in my bowl. I sighed, feeling inexplicably exhausted. I'm allergic to beef, and Lucas knows this. He cares about it even more than I do. Every time we eat out, he always reminds me not to indulge. This was the first time he had carelessly put beef in my bowl. I opened my mouth, wanting to say something, but he suddenly stood up, saying, "I'm going to the bathroom." By the time I reacted, he was already out of the private room. "Where's Olivia?" I asked a friend beside me. "She just went out, she probably went to the bathroom. By the way, where's your Lucas?" I pressed my lips together and stood up. "Where are you going?" "Going outside for some air." At the end of the corridor, there was a window, and I really wanted some fresh air. I didn't intend to uncover any affair, yet I stumbled upon one. Just around the corner, Olivia was weakly leaning in Lucas's embrace. Lucas took medication from his pocket and fed it to Olivia, then opened a bottle of water, feeding her in small sips. With a stern face, he pretended to be angry, saying, "You deserve it." Olivia shot him a glance. "Why are you like this? In front of so many people, you don't give me face." "I'm so embarrassed." Lucas shot her a glare. "Give you face? I think if I give you any more face, you'll fly to the sky. Have you forgotten you have gastroenteritis?" Olivia smiled. "It's fine." Lucas snorted and released Olivia. "Fine, you're okay. If I care about you, I'm a dog." Olivia pulled him back gently, coaxing him softly. All right, I know you're worried about me. Let's go back, so Emily doesn't worry." I fled. In the moment they walked out from the corner, I ran away in panic. One was my best friend, and the other was the person I loved most. How should I face them? But it seemed everything now was my own fault. Olivia is my childhood friend and also my bestie. We grew up together. Our bond of over 20 years means my trust in her surpasses everyone else's. Similarly, she trusts me just as much. So, when she discovered William's infidelity, she told me right away. It was a painful time for her. At that time, she was fixated on why William cheated and betrayed her. She wasn't thinking about how to handle it, she just stubbornly wanted an answer. I stayed by her side, drinking, dancing at clubs, and traveling together. During that time, Lucas had a lot of objections. He felt that I was neglecting him because of Olivia. I had no choice but to appease both sides. Later, Olivia finally made up her mind to get a divorce, but William didn't agree, and she had to go through litigation. Emily, can you let Lucas help me with the lawsuit? I wanted to give her the best support, but I was also afraid Lucas would disagree. Sure enough, when he heard my request, he frowned. Civil litigation isn't my area of expertise. If she needs help, I can introduce her to a professional, but I also don't have time. Lucas is indeed busy, but he can still find some time if he squeezes it in. I know he simply doesn't want to take Olivia's case because he finds her pretentious, affected, and emotional. You can't scold or be harsh with such a client. They're the most troublesome, yet Olivia believes in Lucas. Just like I believe in you, Emily, can you help me? I had no choice but to pester Lucas, even resorting to charm. In the end, he helplessly wrapped his arms around me and said, "Fine, fine, I'll take it." This case was forced upon Lucas by me. So as he and Olivia grew closer, even crossing boundaries with me, he confidently said, "Wasn't this case assigned to me by you?" When I returned to the private room, Olivia was sitting in my spot, talking to Lucas about something. Lucas was listening and pouring her a glass of water. She took it naturally, as if this gesture had happened many times before. It was Olivia who noticed me first. Her expression stiffened for a moment, then she quickly stood up and grabbed my hand. "Emily, where have you been? I didn't run into you." I pushed her hand away. "Just went out for some fresh air." Olivia looked a bit hurt. She forced a smile and said, "Then you sit here, I'll go talk to Xiao Bai and the others." When I sat back down, Lucas leaned in and said in a low, annoyed tone, "What are you throwing a tantrum about now?" I looked at him, confused. "What tantrum am I throwing?" Lucas had a stern face, as if I were pretending not to know. This was quite amusing. I actually laughed out loud. Lucas wanted to say something else, but then there was a commotion on the other side, with a few people shouting they wanted to drink beer with Olivia. Almost reflexively, Lucas tried to get up. I pressed him down. "They're all my friends. Please give me some face." After saying that, I walked over first and stood in front of Olivia. I said, "She has gastroenteritis. She can't drink. If you really want to drink, I'll accompany you." If I had turned around then, I would have seen Olivia's pale face, but I didn't look back. I just smiled lightly and engaged with them. They didn't insist, even expressing how close Olivia and I seemed to be. Later, I drank a lot, and Olivia wanted to stop me but didn't dare to approach. Lucas grabbed my hand but was pushed away by me. In the end, it was Lucas who carried me to the car. Outside the car, he said to Olivia, "Get in, I'll take you home first." Olivia shook her head. "No need. I'll take a taxi myself, you take Emily home." Lucas, however, was insistent. "It's too late. I'm worried about you being alone. It's no trouble, it's on the way." But Olivia suddenly lowered her voice. "Lucas, please don't do this, I'm begging you. Just go." I listened without any burden and then closed my eyes and turned away. Lucas ultimately gave in to the fragile Olivia. The ride back was very quiet, with no music and no one speaking. That night, Lucas was restless, smoking on the balcony all night. Meanwhile, I slept soundly and even had a rare beautiful dream. Olivia's case wasn't smooth from the start. Just like Lucas said, Olivia was too emotional. Every time Lucas asked a question, she would respond with emotions rather than facts. I had no choice but to become her spokesperson. This made Lucas quite unhappy. He slammed the table and said to me, "Get out, I want to talk to her alone." An angry Lucas scared me, let alone Olivia. She grabbed my hand and wouldn't let me go. Lucas said coldly, "Either listen to me or get someone more capable." With no choice, Olivia had to let me go. That day, they talked in the office for over an hour. When they came out, Olivia unusually seemed lively. She said, "Lucas is really impressive." "In what way?" "He's very gentle." Her description surprised me for a moment. I asked Lucas what he did. He said, "I just don't like her personality. But that doesn't mean I can't handle her. She's still dependent on you. So I'll only communicate with her directly from now on." Lucas's decision must have its reasons, and I trusted him. Sure enough, from that day on, the case progressed more smoothly. At first, Olivia would still share updates with me. I don't know when it started, but our contact gradually decreased. Until one day, I called her to ask how far along she was. She casually replied, "What step?" "I don't know, I just do what Lucas tells me. He's responsible for everything." I could only laugh helplessly. "Alright, then I'll ask him when I get back tonight." She said there was no need. "Lucas is right next to me, I'll have him talk to you." And just like that, quite abruptly, through my best friend's phone, I was on the line with my husband. He said something, but I was absent-minded. I just thought their relationship seemed to be getting better. Lucas teased, "I'm getting along well with your best friend, aren't you upset?" I pretended to ask casually, "Do you still hate Olivia?" At that time, Lucas was handling something while holding a notebook. He chuckled amid his busy work. "She's quite cute." So many subtle hints made my heart tense up more and more. When did that string snap? It must have been that morning. Both Lucas and I were asleep when his phone suddenly rang. Half asleep, he mumbled a hello. I don't know what he heard, but the next second, he jumped out of bed. "Why are you crying?" "Don't be afraid, just close the door and call the police." "I'll be right over." His tone was calm and even carried a smile. But the way he searched for his clothes was quick and frantic. Lucas is usually steady. This was the first time I saw him flustered. But even in his panic, he was trying to reassure the person on the other end. This made me feel very uncomfortable. I asked him, "What happened? What's going on?" He replied, "That scumbag William is causing trouble for Olivia again." "You stay asleep, I'm going over." "Why didn't she call me?" I almost blurted out. Lucas suddenly looked at me, his gaze sharp as a knife. "You're not concerned about her safety, just about this?" "Emily, you're being unreasonable, she's your best friend." "Yes, she is my best friend. But when she was scared and panicking, she first contacted my husband." Lucas was furious, almost slamming the door as he left. I stood there dazed for a long time, suppressing the rising emotions, and ultimately decided to follow him and see what was happening. When I arrived, Olivia's door was wide open, and her suppressed cries were clearly audible. At the same time, I heard Lucas's low, soothing voice. "Stop crying, it's okay. I'm here now, he wouldn't dare to do anything to you." I didn't listen any longer and walked in, facing the two of them who were in an embrace. "What are you doing?" Looking back, I should have been scared. I didn't want to hear too much. I didn't want them to continue talking, afraid of hearing things I didn't want to hear. Lucas has been quite proactive at work lately, leaving early. By the time I got up, he was already gone. He had bought me breakfast and left it on the table with a note reminding me to eat. I stared at the food on the table for a long while, but in the end, I still didn't touch it. I received a call from the property management at noon. They asked if I had forgotten to turn off the faucet, as the downstairs resident complained about a leak. It was quite ridiculous. That house had been unoccupied for a long time, and the main valve was turned off, so how could there be a leak? I rushed over in a panic. As it turned out, it was indeed our problem. The faucet in the bathroom was running water, and the floor was already flooded. I quickly turned off the faucet and apologized to the downstairs resident while discussing compensation. I put on a smiling face, listening to their accusations and complaints, and finally resolved the matter. After seeing off the downstairs resident, I completely cooled down. The property management asked if I had rented out the house and who was living there now. Yes, who was living there? It was Olivia. Surprising, right? I didn't expect it either. When I saw her photo with her son on the cabinet, I felt a moment of dizziness. Am I going blind? I thought I was calm enough, but when I took out my phone to call, I found my hands were shaking. How embarrassing, my hands were shaking like a sieve. Taking a deep breath, I desperately suppressed the urge to scream, and I called Lucas. No answer. Then I called Olivia. Still no answer. What was I supposed to think? How was I supposed to think? Without stopping, I headed straight to Lucas's company. He might not be there, or he might be. If he was there, what was I supposed to say? My mind was a mess the entire way. But I never expected to find Olivia sitting in Lucas's office, dressed in professional attire. Olivia was sitting, and Lucas was standing behind her. He leaned over, one hand on the table, the other holding the mouse, smiling as he spoke to Olivia. Olivia looked up at him with a sense of dependence. I pushed the door open heavily, it hit the wall with a crisp sound. Lucas said, I just want to help her. She has been out of the workforce for too long, and it's really hard to find a job. Since I happen to need an assistant, I thought she could give it a try. If she's interested, she could pursue a master's in law, whether for further education or a related career, it would be a good path. This side of Lucas felt so unfamiliar to me. I never knew you were so thoughtful. Lucas looked at me with annoyance. You don't need to be sarcastic, there's nothing between Olivia and me. The innocent will clear their name. I nodded. Got it, but when I stood up to leave, he grabbed me firmly. What do you mean? I looked at him, puzzled. Isn't it the innocent who clear their name? You two go ahead. When I opened the door, Olivia was standing outside. She looked anxious, her eyes resembling those of a startled rabbit, trembling with a hint of redness. Emily, it's not what you think, let me explain. No need, Lucas has already made it clear to me. But she seemed even more frightened, glancing sharply at Lucas and then back at me. What did he tell you? I smiled faintly. Don't you know what he said? Suddenly, Lucas spoke up. You don't need to scare her, there's nothing between us. Olivia secretly sighed in relief. I knew these two too well, sometimes I was grateful for this familiarity, and sometimes I hated it. By the way, I said to Olivia, you forgot to turn off the faucet before leaving today, please be careful next time. You know that house was left to me by my parents, and Lucas can't make that decision. You need to move out in 3 days, okay? Olivia's eyes widened, looking at me in panic, her whole body swaying. Lucas stepped forward to speak. I shook my head at him. There are people around, so don't push me. I left without looking back. It is said that Olivia fainted after I left. Lucas told me this when he came back to pack his things. He let her stay in the old house because William had been harassing her. We were originally going to discuss it with you, but during that time, you were always lost in your thoughts and making malicious speculations. We just didn't want you to misunderstand. He said, let's calm down for now. I'll go to the law firm for a few days and take care of Olivia. Lucas, I called out to him, have you fallen for Olivia? Lucas looked at me with a cold gaze, scoffing, Emily, you need to cool it. He left without hesitation. Suddenly, it reminded me of something William said. At that time, Olivia cried out to him, why do you have to treat me this way? How can you do this to me? Didn't you say you would love me for a lifetime? And William? His expression was indifferent, his tone cold. Everything in this world changes, why can't I change? Why can't my feelings for you change? And more strangely, it was clearly he who cheated, clearly he who changed his heart, yet in the end, he shamelessly said, I never thought about divorcing you. I went to the hospital the next afternoon. Before heading to the hospital, I stopped by Lucas's law firm. He wasn't there. His colleague told me, it's lunchtime, he should be at the hospital. He's been there on time these past few days. The colleague paused, looking at me awkwardly. He's just kind-hearted and friendly to people, don't overthink it. I smiled and laughed. Lucas is kind-hearted? Not really. On the contrary, he can be a bit indifferent. He has a clear boundary between his affairs and others' affairs. In his words, not empathizing is my professional ethics and my respect for myself and others. For so many years, he has never flirted with anyone and has never done anything that could lead to misunderstandings. If he is kind to someone, it comes from the bottom of his heart. When I arrived at the hospital, Lucas was coaxing Olivia to eat. Just eat a little, it's all your favorites today. Don't ruin your health. I'll handle things, don't worry, I'll talk to Emily. Talk to me? About what? As I was pondering this, Olivia anxiously grabbed Lucas's hand. Don't tell Emily, this is my issue, it has nothing to do with you two. I'll handle it myself, you don't need to get involved, don't contact Emily. Lucas frowned. What are you going to do? Tell me what you plan to do? Olivia bit her lip, looking helpless and fragile. Lucas sighed, rubbing the top of Olivia's head. Don't be afraid, I'm here. I stood at the door, numbly watching everything unfold. A sharp pain shot through my heart. I bit my tongue to suppress the hurt. What do you want to talk to me about? The moment Olivia saw me, she hurriedly pulled away from Lucas. Lucas was taken aback, retracting his hand, looking lost. Olivia's gaze trembled as she looked at me, a forced smile on her face. Emily, you're here. I glanced at her expressionlessly before turning to Lucas. So, what do you want to discuss? Nothing. Nothing at all. Olivia denied vehemently. Lucas took a step forward. I wanted to ask for your help. Lucas, shut up. Olivia tried to stop him, but Lucas didn't give her the chance. He said, Emily, let's get a divorce. Emily, think of it as helping Olivia. Once Matt's school situation stabilizes, we can remarry, okay? I never thought I would hear such ridiculous words, to the point where I doubted whether my ears were functioning properly. What? Olivia's face turned pale, grasping Lucas's sleeve, stammering, I beg you, don't say that. But Lucas seemed resolute. Emily, let's get a divorce, temporarily. Shut up, Lucas. Emily, don't listen to him, he's talking nonsense. Lucas grew angry. He stared at Olivia with a stern expression. Have you looked in the mirror and seen how haggard you are? Don't worry about this, just listen to me. Olivia started to cry. Lucas tried to raise his hand to wipe her tears but held back, his face full of restrained affection. It was disgustingly unbearable to watch. I silently clenched the divorce agreement in my hand and shoved it back into my bag. Lucas, you're dreaming. If that were the case, the property distribution would need to be reconsidered. Lucas chased after me as I left the hospital. He grabbed my hand, irritation written all over his face. Emily, let's talk. I sneered, talk about what? Divorce? Lucas, you're something else. Lucas rubbed his temples. I already said it's a fake divorce, I just want to help Olivia. Lucas, do you even believe what you're saying? I'm telling the truth, if you don't believe me, there's nothing I can do. He was playing the rogue. Fine, I'm not in a hurry. Or you can sue me, you haven't represented yourself in court yet, have you? Lucas furrowed his brow and looked at me. Emily, I'm discussing this with you. I said before, I don't really want to divorce you, this is just a temporary measure. I shook my head. I won't agree. Lucas, why should I trust you? Lucas wanted to say something else when his phone rang. I tried to pull my hand away. He had been holding on tightly. But upon seeing the caller ID, he hesitated, letting me easily break free. I have something else, we'll talk later. I silently looked at my wrist for a while before turning to leave. Halfway, I turned back once, only to see Lucas's back as he hurriedly entered the hospital. Olivia said she wanted to talk to me. I agreed. We met at a cafe we used to visit often. Olivia didn't look well, she seemed genuinely ill and was very haggard. Upon seeing me, she stood up flustered. Emily, you're here. Sit down, what do you want to drink? I ordered a cup of coffee and sat down. Go ahead, what do you want to talk about? Olivia bit her lip. Don't listen to Lucas's nonsense, he's just worried about Matt's schooling. I'll handle it myself, I can't trouble you two anymore. Olivia was rarely clever this time. She categorized Lucas and me into the same camp, treating the situation as if we both wanted to help. But alas, it was too late. Olivia, do you like Lucas? Olivia shook her head repeatedly. I don't, how could I possibly like him? Then I don't understand. If you don't like him, why are you giving him signals? I'm not. Olivia denied excitedly, Emily, I really didn't. I shook my head with a smile. Olivia, adults have their own boundaries. If you don't give him the signal that you can get close, he wouldn't dare to take advantage. Of course, this can't all be blamed on you. If he hadn't crossed the line first, you probably wouldn't have either. Speaking of which, is this what you call mutual affection? Are you really not going to tell me about your story with Lucas? Aren't we best friends who can talk about anything? Olivia's face turned pale as a ghost. She looked at me stammering, Emily, I really didn't. I lowered my gaze and my expression grew cold. No? Olivia, you're quite the romantic. You like to reflect a man's love for you in little things. For example, putting you first in everything, rushing to your side at the first moment, remembering your preferences, buying you medicine instead of making you go get it yourself, and making sure that only you can sit in the passenger seat. You know I don't care about this, but you do. So, when you and Lucas came to find me, and you sat in the passenger seat, what were you thinking? Olivia stood frozen in place. I pointed across the room. I was over there before you came, I had a good view. So I clearly saw Lucas drop Olivia off and tie her scarf after she got out of the car. Olivia opened her mouth. I interrupted her. Are you trying to say he's just worried about you? Olivia, don't you think my husband's concern for you is excessive? He really loves you. Olivia began to cry, covering her face and sobbing loudly. I looked at her indifferently, no longer feeling the past compassion. Emily, I was wrong, I'm sorry, I was wrong, she said. William's infidelity made me start doubting myself. Was it me? Was there a problem with me? Otherwise, why would he have fallen in love with someone else, Emily? I never intended to hurt you, and I never thought there was anything between me and Lucas. He's nice to me, and it makes me happy. I suddenly feel like I deserve to be loved too. She said it was just vanity, she was simply enjoying how a man treats a woman, but unfortunately, that man happens to be my husband. I'm sorry, Emily, I was wrong. Since Lucas wants to fake divorce you, I knew I was wrong. Don't worry, there's nothing between us, I'll step back, and I'll give him back to you. Emily, please forgive me, okay? I gently wiped away the tears that had streamed down the corners of my eyes. So you only realized it so late? So, when he comforted you in the middle of the night, bought you medicine, held you while feeding you the medicine, secretly let you stay in my house, and arranged for you to work at the company, you didn't think there was anything wrong? That's not it, Emily. It must be quite addictive. My man goes to great lengths to treat you well, even better than he treats me, even at the cost of embarrassing me. Isn't that quite addictive? Olivia shook her head while crying. It seemed she had nothing else to say except shaking her head. You say you'll give him back to me? Actually, you've already tacitly accepted that he's yours, right? When did he ever tell you that he liked you? Olivia looked up in shock, staring at me in disbelief, seemingly not understanding how I knew. I leaned back in my chair, dejected. Olivia, I've known you for over 20 years. I've protected you for over 20 years. No one in this world knows you better than I do. My words hit Olivia like a sledgehammer. Emily, do you remember the woman William cheated with? I ran into her a few days ago. She's not with William anymore. She's dating someone new and plans to get married by the end of the year. She seems to be in a good place, very relieved, and even feels a sense of rebirth. She said she wants to apologize to you. She was immature back then and hopes you can forgive her. She said she started over and hopes you can too. I understood Olivia. Similarly, she understood me. She knew what I was trying to express, which is why she cried and begged me not to say anything more. But my compassion for her was long gone. Can you forgive her, Olivia? She shattered your family, threw your life into chaos, and then just says sorry? Why does she think that the sugarcane residue she chewed up is something you should pick up and eat? Why does she think she can return what she's ruined and you should accept it? Olivia, tell me, how can she be so cruel? Olivia asked me what I wanted. I said with a faint smile, divorce. To make room for you too. Olivia's lips trembled. I never thought about it before, and I won't in the future. Emily, I won't be with him. Her words were serious, as if she were swearing an oath. Really? I looked out the window. Then congratulations to Lucas for his wasted efforts. She said, if you want a divorce, then let's get a divorce. Before leaving, she asked me, Emily, are we still friends? I didn't answer that question. I only told her, Olivia, in this matter, the hurt you caused me far outweighs Lucas's. Olivia and I truly grew up together, from kindergarten to marriage, never apart. At that time, our families lived very close, just a flight of stairs away. Her parents always liked to argue and fight. She was very scared and would hide in the hallway and cry. Back then, I would hold her hand and take her home. We ate together, played games together, did homework together, and slept together, from kindergarten to high school. The farthest distance between us was just the distance between Class 1 and Class 3. Later, we worked hard to get into the same university in the same city. My mom laughed and said, "You two might as well get married in the same place." Olivia nodded. "I can't live without Emily." How ridiculous. I was betrayed by the person I trusted the most. Truly, it serves me right. Lucas came home at dusk. He said to me, "Emily, let's consider it as helping Olivia. She's your best friend, and you wouldn't want to see her so upset, would you?" He said, "We're only faking the divorce. Once the time is right, we'll remarry. If you're worried, I'll transfer all the assets to you." I looked at the man in front of me. Looking at him, who was intoxicated by love. Watching him deceive himself. Okay, let's get divorced. The process of our divorce went smoothly and quickly. The divorce agreement was prepared by him. He gave me the house, the car, and the bank savings. On the day I received the divorce certificate, I asked Lucas to leave the house. He was taken aback, looking confused. "What do you mean?" I said, "The house is mine, we've divorced, so it's normal for you to move out, right? We're only faking the divorce." "Who told you that?" "Emily, what exactly do you mean?" I smiled coldly. "Lucas, I never intended to fake divorce with you." Lucas, how smart he was, immediately caught on. "Are you plotting against me?" "Plotting against you?" "Not really. Aren't you supposed to give me a little compensation after getting what you wanted?" Lucas stared at me for a long time. Finally, he said, "You don't need to act like this. I didn't have anything with Olivia before, and I won't in the future. I really just want to help her. There's no possibility between us. It has nothing to do with me." "Emily, what exactly do you want?" Looking at Lucas, who appeared incredulous and even thought I was unreasonable, I felt a deep sense of desolation. "Lucas, how little do you understand me? Do you really think I can ignore the ambiguity between you and Olivia? Do you really think I can swallow this bitterness? I can't. But what can I do? I can't just kill you. So just stay away from me and stop disgusting me." My words were harsh. Lucas's face darkened. "Emily, don't mess with me." I scoffed and looked at him. His expression grew increasingly ugly. "Fine, don't regret it." Lucas moved out, taking only one suitcase with him. I asked him what would happen to the rest of his things. He said, "Just throw them away." He was sulking. He even thought I was sulking too. I laughed and nodded. "Okay, I get it." The next day, I cleared out all of Lucas's personal belongings and sent his work-related items to his company through a courier. As soon as the items arrived, Lucas called me, sounding accusatory. "Emily, what do you want?" "What do I want?" Such a stupid question shouldn't have come from him. "Lucas, can you stop deceiving yourself?" After hanging up, I blocked all his communication methods. From that day on, I cut off contact with Lucas. Later, Olivia messaged me. "Emily, I've resigned and won't disturb you anymore." 2 days later, she messaged me again. "I gave William custody of Matt, he'll handle Matt's schooling." Before, I was too stubborn and didn't want to have anything to do with him. But Matt is his son, so he should take care of him. "Emily, I'm sorry. I read the messages several times and then deleted them without replying. Not everything in this world can be resolved with a smile." I didn't know what happened between Lucas and Olivia, nor did I inquire about it. However, after Olivia told me Matt's schooling issue was resolved, Lucas got himself drunk. His friend called me, "Sister-in-law, Lucas is drunk. Could you come and pick him up?" I said, "We're already divorced." I thought I had made myself clear, but I didn't expect Lucas to come over himself. He smelled strongly of alcohol, but his eyes were clear. I knew he wasn't drunk. I asked him, "What are you doing here?" Lucas smiled at me. "Emily, the issue with Matt's schooling has been resolved. Let's remarry tomorrow." I was silent for a few seconds. "Lucas, are you joking?" Lucas's lips pressed into a straight line. We agreed that we were faking the divorce. His tone made me feel absurd. It felt just like the first time I heard him say he wanted a fake divorce. Lucas, I don't believe you can't see this. Is it really fun to keep deceiving yourself? I tried to close the door, but Lucas blocked it. Emily, let's talk. Talk? Lucas and I had long missed the best opportunity for an open conversation. It was too late for anything now, but since he wanted to talk, I would accompany him. I just hoped this farce would stop here. But how to talk? For a moment, I couldn't find a starting point. Finally, Lucas spoke up. He said, "We faked the divorce just to help Olivia. Now that the issue with Matt is resolved, let's remarry." Okay, Lucas didn't start off well. That wasn't what I wanted to hear. If that's how you want to talk about it, then I think it's unnecessary. I tried to stand up and send him away, but Lucas grabbed my arm. He yelled, "What do you want? Do you mind Olivia? I won't contact her anymore. I told you before that this is the last time I help her. What else do you want?" His question stunned me. What do I want? Is it about what I want, from beginning to end? Whoever gave me a choice? At this moment, the emotions I had been holding in for months finally exploded. I had been trying hard to maintain my dignity. The hurt that Lucas and Olivia caused me, compared to emotional betrayal, was more terrifying. The collapse of trust, when they treated me like a fool and secretly flirted right under my nose. When they bullied me to this extent yet still thought I should endure it, I began to reflect on myself. What did I do that made others think I was so foolish and so humble? Did they secretly laugh at me while I opened my heart to them? Laughing at me for being a blind and foolish idiot? Lucas, you deserve to die. You want to cheat, you want to fall in love with someone else, fine, no problem. But why do you have to seek out Olivia? You clearly know she's my best friend, yet you still want to be ambiguous with her. Lucas, you're disgusting. You say you and Olivia have no future. Is it that you don't want one? Or is it Olivia who disagrees? You confessed to her, didn't you? She didn't accept you, did she? Lucas, Olivia is a jerk, but you're even more of a jerk. You treat me as a compromise, but why should I compromise for you? Why do you think you can act this way and I still have to accept it all? You say William is scum, but what's the difference between you, Lucas, and him? Am I supposed to be grateful to you? Why do you keep coming to disgust me? You still aren't willing to admit you're wrong and want to put all the blame on me. It's me who's overthinking, me who's dirty-minded, me who's narrow-minded, me who's selfish. Isn't it? Lucas, you really make me sick. My sudden outburst left Lucas stunned. I'm not blaming you, and I never intended to hurt you. Emily, I never wanted to hurt you. I slumped onto the sofa, letting my tears fall freely. What does it mean to not want to hurt someone? You clearly fell for someone else but hid it from me, thinking you sacrificed your love for the sake of our mundane life, yet you're still unwilling. Lucas, when you were being ambiguous with Olivia, wasn't it mixed with a sense of revenge against me? I've already gotten you, what does it matter if I suffer a bit? I've only lost my dignity, while you two lost love. Isn't that right? But Lucas, you're not as important as you think, and I'm not as pathetic as you think. Lucas seemed to be hit hard by my words. He hunched over, supporting himself on the table, murmuring, "It shouldn't be like this. We shouldn't have become this way. But what should we have been like?" When he proposed, he said he loved me and would love me for a lifetime. Later, when we got married, he said he loved me and would protect me for a lifetime. Then, during those years we spent together, there was one time I suggested divorce out of anger, and he shook his head, saying it was impossible. He said we would be buried together until death. But he lost his way, he forgot his promises and expected me to wait for him. Why should I? Lucas walked away, stumbling on his feet, his back slumped in despair. He didn't show up in front of me again. Neither did Olivia. The last time Olivia messaged me was not long ago. She said she went back to her hometown. She said she didn't want to stay in the city anymore. Emily, I never intended to hurt you, but I did indeed hurt you. I was confused and lost, and I deserve a miserable ending. I don't ask for your forgiveness, I only hope you won't be sad for the rest of your life. Epilogue, Lucas. My meeting with Emily was quite dramatic. It was during my internship when I went with a colleague to meet a client in an old residential area. There was no elevator, no security, and even the stairway lights were broken. Just as we were finishing up, I stepped out first to have a smoke. As I reached the first floor and was about to go outside, the iron door of the hallway was pushed open, and a petite girl walked in. She saw me and froze on the spot, neither advancing nor retreating. In the darkness, I sensed her tension, as if she would either faint or run away in the next moment. I should have stepped aside and told her I wasn't a bad person, allowing her to pass. But the atmosphere had escalated, and I lost my ability to react. I don't know how long it took, but I heard my colleague's voice. "What are you standing there for? Didn't you come out to smoke?" I finally let out the breath I had been holding. I helplessly said, "I think I scared the girl." At that time, I thought this girl was really timid. I had never met anyone so scared. So later, when I found out we were at the same school, I spoke to her in soft tones, afraid of scaring her. But as I gradually got to know her, I realized she was a small girl with a big heart. She had a really good friend named Olivia. I didn't like her much because she couldn't handle things and would just hide behind Emily. One time, Olivia was harassed, and she cried in fear. It was Emily who swung her backpack and hit that guy. How impressive was she, a short girl with little strength who had never fought before. If it weren't for the proximity to the dorm and the presence of security, she might have been in serious trouble. By that time, we were already together. I was very angry. While I was treating her wounds, I asked, "Aren't you scared?" She laughed foolishly. "Of course I am, but I told Olivia to call security. I know what to do." She was always like this, independent, capable of bearing everything by herself, needing no help from anyone. I asked her why. She said she was used to it. Later, I often thought that maybe I felt less of a sense of accomplishment with Emily. Which is why when Olivia relied on me wholeheartedly, I became addicted to it. Olivia was completely different from Emily. She was as fragile as a floating weed. She had no opinions. Whatever others said was what she accepted. She wouldn't even ask why, just look at you with trusting eyes. When did the relationship between Olivia and me start to change? It should have been that time when she said someone was following her, and she was very scared. I didn't think much and rushed over. The moment she saw me, she flew into my arms, clutching my waist, trembling. She cried on my shirt, as if she wanted to merge herself into my body. My heart softened. I originally wanted to push her away but ended up embracing her. Things escalated from there. I became more and more concerned about her, caring for her, and feeling sorry for her. I realized I liked her when my partner said, "You were a bit impulsive this time. Such a small case shouldn't be a big deal. If you're not in the right state, just switch to someone else. Don't let your emotions dictate your actions." After hearing his words, I smoked a whole pack, until Olivia called me. "I made fish. Do you want to come eat?" At that moment, I felt so affectionate that even when I replied, "Okay," I was smiling. I had fallen for Olivia. I had fallen for my wife's best friend. I could sense that she felt something for me too, but no one dared to break the ice. We pretended there was no crossing of lines, pretending to do things that ordinary friends would do. We even deliberately ignored Emily's presence. Emily said that when I was ambiguous with Olivia, it was with a sense of revenge against her. I flatly denied it, but deep down, I knew Emily was right. I didn't want to hurt Emily. I just didn't love her anymore. I fell for someone else but didn't want any outcomes. I gave up my love to support her mundane life. I'm sorry for myself, sorry for Olivia, but I have never wronged Emily. That was my mindset at the time. I was dazed and stubbornly obsessed. But there were moments when I vaguely felt sorry for Emily. The first time I felt a sense of crisis was when Emily caught me and Olivia in an embrace. She questioned us about what we were doing. At that moment, both Olivia and I panicked. The embarrassment and shame of being caught made me angry. I blamed her for being dirty-minded, but it was really just to cover up my own shameful actions. That was the first time I considered putting an end to things with Olivia. So, one night after getting drunk, I called Olivia. I said, "Olivia, you know what? I like you, the kind of like where I want to be with you. But I can't betray Emily. Olivia, tell me what I should do." Olivia was silent for a long time. Finally, she said to me, "Don't hurt Emily." We promised each other that once the case was over, we would stop contacting each other. So we treated that period of time together as our last celebration, even though it was full of flaws and loopholes. But I didn't care anymore. Just thinking about how I would lose my true love for the rest of my life made me feel like I was fearless. True love? Ha! It comes quickly and leaves just as fast. So what do you call true love? Just hormones at play. When I realized that Emily truly wanted a divorce, it felt like I had fallen from a lofty tower. I was deceiving myself, telling myself that Emily was just angry, that once I dealt with Olivia, she would return to me. I went to find Olivia, and the look she gave me was very complicated. She said, "You shouldn't have come." Her gaze changed, becoming clear and upright. How strange, just a few days ago we were in love to the death. But Emily's decisive decision rang like a loud bell, instantly waking us up. Olivia asked me, "What do you think if we get married, really married?" "What do you mean?" "Well, you've already divorced Emily, so we can be together from now on. Don't you love me? We can be together forever." Her words made me retreat repeatedly. That's not what we said at first. I never thought about actually divorcing Emily. Even at my most confused, I never considered truly divorcing Emily. Olivia laughed. She shook her head while looking at me. "You don't deserve to be Emily's husband, and I don't deserve to be her friend." Olivia was just looking for a sense of achievement through me. And what about me? The same, seeking a sense of achievement through others and the thrill of the flashy world. William said, "Everything in this world changes. Why can't I change? Why can't my feelings for you change?" I cursed him as scum. But in the end, I became the person I least wanted to be.